Oh, we're recording. How nice. Um, I kind of did a little uh, advertisement, a reel for social media, kind of showing some of the color changing potions that I did. I only say did because I probably made these a couple of years ago. Um, they really weren't gaining a whole lot of traction, popularity, but they do kind of color change like that, like a swirling effect. I Actually, the first show I did back in 2024, I feel like that's the show I sold the most of, and then like after that, they kind of just fizzled out. But I had some people messaging me, asking me about them, so I figure I might as well see. So these have actually been sitting. It's embalming fluid, guys. Sure, it is. These have actually been sitting in my studio here, kind of in a box. I kind of just dug a few of these guys out. This one's actually got a little hearse charm on it. Can you see that shit? Um, but yeah, so these was something I started doing on a regular basis, and then, like I said, they kind of just fizzled out. I don't know. I might now that I got them broke back out. This looks like fucking orange juice. Now that I got them back out, I might just take a few like this season just to see if they get any kind of you know if they get any interest, or I don't know what kind of what do I want to say? I don't know what kind of fucking supplies I have to make more of this shit. I mean, I could always make new ones too, but I kind of hate to make. This one's not even really doing anything anymore. I kind of hate to make like new stuff if there's no interest in it. I had a conversation with one of my friends today over the phone. He wants to put my products on his website. See, look at this shit. That actually comes out pretty cool. Organic poisoning. I remember organic. The biggest scam ever. Not the biggest scam, but it is. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so I talked to him on the phone, and he was talking about putting some of like my products up on his website, which I'm like all for. He's basically gonna do like my legwork for me as far as like receiving orders and posting everything and maintaining everything, and all I got to do is basically get the payment sent to me, and then I ship from here to wherever. So that'll be cool. Obviously, anytime you start something like that, I don't expect uh, like major results right away, but I figure any kind of avenue I could take, I'll do it, especially with him because he's been doing like the online thing for a long time and he's a good guy. I trust him and I like good stuff. Oh, what does this one even say? Staring at death juice. So I even did this one. I think I actually showed off in my little reel. Oh, it's real, all right. Yeah. The blood ones seem to be pretty popular. I don't know. Obviously, it isn't. It might be a drop of my own in here. Who knows, right? I may have been in the mood to sacrifice that day or night or whatever. I think I actually sold. I think I actually have one on my dresser. One of these on my dresser, but I can't remember. I think it's like Dragon's Blood or something like that. Everything. This one's pretty cool too. Every time I like. This is just it's Grim Reaper juice, guys, or wine, whatever. Um, Anytime I kind of like make like a new item, or I always have to like keep the prototype for myself or a prototype for myself. Call me greedy, but I got my living room. It's kind of full of. I got like this whole shelf full of like one-offs. I call them. Where I only made one, and that's it. And I'm kind of like keeping for myself. Again, I don't know why I do that. I could probably sell the stuff, but snake poison, magic potion. I can't even read. It's got a fucking snake on it though. Anyway, so again, these things is one of those items that I've had that I've been making up until, like I said, a couple of years ago. I kind of just go with whatever is popular or whatever people are interested in, obviously, right? You want to have the supply for the demand, so that's where I do a lot of the dragons. The dragons are popular. The sharks were popular, especially last year. I think I might have mentioned this before when Jaws turned 50. So I don't know. It's just everything's got its own little fad, I guess, but where everything's sometimes just popular, sometimes it isn't. Whatever. Pardon me. I got my workout in a little late today. If I feel like or sound like I'm out of breath, that's why. It was kind of an interesting day today. I did, like I said, I did talk to my buddy today. Also, I found out this past week, a couple days ago, so I got 2 fucking lawnmowers here. None of them want to fucking cut my grass. It's the same make and model. It's a John Deere self-propelled push mower. But anyway, I bought the one a few years ago, and I love that fucking thing. It's so smooth. Who knew this was a lawnmower video? Well, I didn't. The handle comes up real high, for me, because you guys all know I'm like a giant. So I absolutely love this thing, but it stopped like cutting when you go forward. Somebody on Facebook told me what I need to fix it. Now the part is like 160, 170 bucks. I'm thinking, well, fuck, I got 2 of these things with the same problem. Now, do I fix both of these, or do I just go out and get a new one with the 168 times 2 I would pay or spend? You know what I mean? And it is kind of getting into the season, so maybe I'll just go out and get myself a new one, which ever since I've been a homeowner, which has been a long, long time, I've never bought a brand new lawnmower or snowblower or anything. I always just go to Marketplace, just get whatever, you know what I mean? Anyway, that's a fucking interesting little tidbit of information to put in there. And but anyway, so I got those 2 on the fritz. So now I got another buddy coming tomorrow. Basically, I can use his lawnmower, and then I got to help him with putting a Halloween costume together. So we're kind of gonna hang out for a little bit doing that, doing some projects. I just hope he remembers his lawnmower. And then, what else did I do today? Oh yeah, I was going back to today. I was I picked up a casket last Sunday in Madarieville, Indiana. It's like an hour and 25 from where I'm at. So I got a funeral director friend. He's also a car collector, a funerary supply collector. The dude's awesome. I love this dude. But anyway, so I went down to this car show that he was at. He had a couple of his cars out there on display, and as soon as I get there, I see he's sitting in his I think he's sitting in his limo, and he's got one of his old hearses that he just picked up in June. Maybe I'll put the picture up. I have all this gap here. Maybe I'll put a picture of it. I don't know, but so I get there. If I remember, editor, you gotta help me out and put that picture up there. So I get there, and I'm like, yeah, hey, how's it going? Blah blah blah. And I just sit in his car, his hearse, and I sit in the driver's side. I'm just like, all right, man, where's the keys at? I'm taking this fucking son of a bitch. Not exactly my color, but it was definitely like a 60s or I don't even remember what year the thing is. I'm hoping I have that information, but anyway, so we hung out at the show for a little bit, and I took some other pictures of some other cars, and we went back to his house, which is literally like 2 blocks. One of his houses, literally like 2 blocks away, and so he's got these caskets sitting up against the wall of his garage, and they've been in there since the funeral home that he used to work for closed down. Long story short, the owner passed away, and I guess he just didn't want to take it over. I don't know. Maybe he just retired. Anyway, that's really short, see? So I get there, and we're kind of like checking out, which one do I want, So I pick one out, load it into my car, and then we go into his house for a little bit. And there's 2 other guys with us. So there's 4 of us, and the other 2 guys are with the Professional Car Society. Is that what it's called? Also 2 car collectors, 2 friends of his, friends of mine now, I guess. So we all kind of just hung out in my friend's house, and they were talking about cars, right? And a lot of stuff that I had no idea about because these guys are a little older than I am. So they're telling stories, and I'm just kind of like taking it all in, right? And he's got in this house, um, he's got like a room that you walk into. Like I respect the guy enough I didn't even ask to take pictures of anything. All right, he's basically got like two bedrooms or like a room, and then goes off to another room that are just full of like antique funeral um, supplies. Let's say he had children's caskets from like the 1800s and the early 1900s, and old urns and embalming equipment and fluids. He actually had it set up to where they would come out of the hoses and into the body. And he had like religious items, crucifixes on the wall, and just all kinds of crazy stuff. He had a like a registration book that you would sign when you go to a viewing. So he actually asked all three of us to sign it, basically indicating that we saw what he had. The thing was cool. I mean, just everything. I'm like, this dude. I want everything that's in here. um, remember me at some point, But and then what else did he have in there? I think he had like candelabras and shit. Like old antique, like those old brass ones, those really ornamental ones. Just shit you don't really see anymore because everything's kind of just like manufactured and not with no effort. But I definitely would have been interested in a couple of those items for sure. And he had an actual like a real in a plastic like a plastic box, a clear plastic box. He had a human skull in it, a real one. Okay, it's a real one. And this was back when you could purchase said stuff. Some website you would get them from, and nobody really seemed to ask any questions. I guess I don't know. I forget what he exactly said, but you could actually like get in there and actually see like the dental work. All in all, it was a good day. It was cool. It was great to see him again. And as a side note, he's the guy that sold me. I always say he sold me all three of my hearses. He says he only sold me the two, technically, but the one of them he kind of let me know about, my 2000 silver one that's out here. But I kind of bought that through him from another seller. He was still responsible for it. I don't care what he says, but so anyway, after that story's over, I ended up coming back home. This was last week Sunday, and then just today, which is Saturday, a little bit 6 days later, we had I had to deliver it to a buddy I work with, who's going to use it as a gun case or a gun locker, what are we going to call it. He's got a lot of guns, so I know where I'm going to head. Now that I know where he lives, when the zombies come, I know where I'm going. So, so that was cool. I get to hang out with him a little bit. He told me like all the plans that he had for it, and we gutted the casket. I brought all the bedding and the pillow and all that bullshit back with me. I figure I can always use some extras. You never know when you get one that doesn't have shit in it, or maybe mine just needs to be replaced. Who knows? There's a lot of reasons to bring the bedding back, or maybe I just needed to curl up with it tonight. You know what I mean? That's not true, but it could be. Anyway, I guess that's really all this video was. I don't really know what else to talk about. I'm kind of just hanging out in my studio. Well, as you can tell behind me, what studio it is. It's fucking amazing outside right now. Humidity is like gone. It's actually kind of cool right now. It's kind of why I'm out here. And I figure, you know what? I might as well update you guys on some stuff going on. I don't know what else to really update you on. My life isn't really that exciting. I know you probably think it is, but it's not. It's not. I just try to do what I do. Oh, I have. Um, I'm only mentioning this because it's kind of driving me nuts. I spray painted some cloth, little witch hats that are just too. One thing I hate about when the Halloween shit hits the stores is that everything's got fucking glitter on it, or everything has to sparkle. Leave that shit for Christmas. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to like just spray paint over it with some cloth, like spray paint for cloth. I have, and this shit's fucking stinks, man. I got the doors and windows and everything open, but man, it's strong. I only did one hat. It's only like a 6-inch around hat. It didn't take that much paint, but man, it's fucking strong. This is a little side thing I'm just telling you guys about. I don't know. What else can I tell you guys about? What else happened? Let's see. I had a couple incidents with deer this week. Nothing major. I don't know if you guys know this, but I work a second shift. So I drive and deliver. I drive a Chevy Express van. Everybody knows what those are. And it's basically for a company that does auto glass and accessories. So it's basically windshields is the most of what I deliver to these body shops and glass shops and auto shops and dealerships and anybody who needs a fucking windshield, right? So, and I have a route that runs about 270 miles a night or so. And it's usually about 7 hours I'm gone, 7, 8 hours. Just depends on how many stops I got. I usually got about 12 to 15 stops. So, and I travel west of here. I go all the way out to Highland, Indiana, which is about 20 miles east of Chicago, of Illinois. Oh my goodness. And then Maryville, Crown Point, some other areas out there. But anyway, I had an incident with a deer. I'm going down this road. And it's one of these roads that's kind of like 20 miles an hour is the limit. Kind of residential, I guess. I'm out in the middle of nowhere, I feel like. And there's like a couple cars behind me, whatever. And I'm coming up, and it's a really sharp turn, so I slow down to make the turn, right? Again, I got glass in my van. And there's a deer just like sitting on the corner, and he kind of like just starts shaking his head. So I did it back to him. I just kind of like shook my head back to him. And then I could see like he put his head up a little bit and started to like sniff the air, trying to figure out if maybe like I'm one of his own, you know what I mean? Or maybe he's lost. So I kind of like did that back to him, trying to like communicate with this deer. This is my life, guys. I'm sorry. And then the people behind me are getting impatient. I could tell. Like one of them actually honked, and then the deer startled. You know, I'm like, listen, man. I'm having a fucking moment with nature. I don't need your ass to be telling me what the fuck to do, man. I hate that shit. People are just so impatient, I guess. They're just like, just watch. Listen. That's my story again. I'm trying to fill the video up a little bit. We're trying to get to at least 20 minutes. Speaking of work, which I really don't want to talk about, but don't tell me. But I know for a fact, one of the guys I work with is one of my latest subscribers, Brian, or maybe it was his wife. I'm not sure. By the way, he's a good kid if he's watching this. I do enjoy working with you, kiddo. You know that. And your wife is lovely. I just met your wife. Was it like last Friday or 2 Fridays ago or whatever the hell it was when you got in that accident, when you got rear-ended. So, but anyway, he's a good kid, got a good head on your shoulders. If you're watching this, just wanted to let you know all this shit, you know what I mean? Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for following me on Facebook and all that good stuff. So thanks for all the support. One of these days you'll invite me over for that Mexican food you keep talking about. One of these days, I know you just moved in. I know. I'll bring you the toaster or whatever it is you need for your little home. What do they call that? A home welcoming thing? All right, guys, I'm going to cut this shit out. Also, next video, that doctor I told you about that basically is going to be, I don't know if I even mentioned it, he's going to be doing house calls, which is fucking weird. But I gotta do what I gotta do. I don't know why he's doing house calls. He's really like old fashioned in what he does. I don't know if he's like holistic or whatever they want to say, but he uses some almost, I don't know, I don't want to say prehistoric, it's not that old, but he uses some pretty ancient techniques. So I think he's actually here now. I think I just heard him tap on the door. He's weird. And he doesn't have any problem with me filming him, which is even weirder. I don't know. The fact that it's what time it is at night and the fact that he's here now, I don't know if he does this like this is his shift, maybe, or if he's got so many patients that he just tries to squeeze in who he can. But yeah, we're gonna go say hi to him in the next video. But anyway, thanks for everything, guys. You know what I mean? I know I sound like a broken record, but thanks, like for real. And I will catch you guys later.